Now then, this is Without a Voice. I believe it's a visual novel, and that's about all I know about it. For some reason, I put it in my Friday stream lot rather than Sunday, so I'm guessing it's not going to be too cringe. I don't really remember what possessed me to do that. But since we finished rooting so soon, I guess we'll go on with this. Let us begin. Ooh, okay. Content warning. Please note the following game contains disturbing themes and explicit content. Okay, maybe this is why I put it in the Friday bundle rather than the Sunday story time. Sounds like this might be darker and less cringe than our usual fare for Storytime Sundays. This list is in no way exhaustive or complete, and not everything on this list is present in every playthrough. Please exercise caution while playing. Violence, graphic depictions of death and gore, homophobia, incestophilia, and codependency. Yikes. I have never even heard the term incestophilia. I mean, normally you would just put incest as the warning. Not that someone would be assuming by that those base words attracted to incest. Does that mean there will be actual incest? Does it mean that the incest will be portrayed in a positive way? I guess we'll go ahead with this, but go ahead tentatively. If this gets, You guys, they like incest, but just don't do it? Like, they're just a fan? Like, the creative was just like, by the way, I also like incest. That won't come up in this story, but I thought I'd just let you know. When cold, cruel destiny has thee within her grasp, thou may endeavor bravely, dear, to change thy path. But fate cares not which twisted road you choose to take. You dance atop her palm with every choice you make. Day 1. It was a morning like any other. The tragedy soon to unfold would affect so few people that time would swiftly forget it. For those involved, however, that morning was a maelstrom, drawing them each in closer and closer still. It all began innocently enough, with a certain exiled princess in a terrible predicament. Oh dear, I've run out of firewood. This is Cassidy. Hello, Cassidy. If only I'd noticed yesterday. This has caught me quite unawares. The ex-princess in question was named Cassidy, and she was the eldest child of the kingdom of Veramir. Run out of firewood, time for incest. I mean, if this starts going south, I will pull the plug on this. But we'll go ahead tentatively. What was that you say? You've never heard of Veramir? One shouldn't be surprised. This all happened long before the universe summoned you into existence. That's a really weird and almost condescending way of saying before you were born. The next shipment isn't due for a little while yet. She grew up to be Cassidy Yates, Starship Captain, and hooked up with Benjamin Sisko of Deep Space Nine. You're a big supporter of fucking around and finding out. Well, hopefully we can find out before there's too much fucking around. But I cannot wait. I won't be able to cook or do laundry without a fire. So long had the princess been living in this cottage alone that she'd taken to talking to herself, just to feel less lonely. Determined to gather some wood before sundown, Cassidy grabbed a hatchet and some linen, and then quitted the place. They've got such highfalutin language, and then there's something weird like that comes out. Was this translated from something else? Or did they think quitted the place was somehow a fancy way of saying leaving? Once outside, she paused, considering for the umpteenth time whether it would be best for her to lock the door. She considered for the umpteenth time? Was she... Does she consider it every time she leaves the house? Because, like, that seems like... I don't know why... It's just a very weird sentence to write. No one will come in anyway. My brother's agents never enter, and no one else travels this deep into the wood. You write better... Oh, yeah, I would hope so. I mean, you definitely write better than this, Miss Pine. Oh, like most Twitch streamers, you mean talking to self to feel less lonely? Well, it is certainly a useful skill to have, being able to talk to yourself. That was definitely the biggest hurdle when I started streaming, was it felt very much like I was talking to myself, even though, like, I was responding to chat and stuff. It's a very strange feeling to try and talk when there's no other person in the room. Convincing herself so, Cassidy turned away and headed into the forest to begin her mission. Why wouldn't you just lock the door? You have a key, right? I don't see why you wouldn't just lock the door. There's nothing lost from locking the door. Unfortunately, her determination and willpower were short-lived. As I thought, firewood isn't just lying around on the ground, just waiting to be picked up. You pretending to talk to yourself every day because you live alone most of the time? Sometimes you pretend to talk to the cat. He doesn't care? Do I ever talk to the cat? I guess I do. But I also know she doesn't talk back to me. When you say the cat doesn't care, does he tell you he doesn't care? Or does he just not respond at all? That's what's concerning, is if you think the cat is responding to you, like, in a voice. That would be the point to become concerned. Even playing a game called Gun Gun Pixies. So much endless, inane, VN-style talking between levels like that. They get paid by the word. Oh, man. That does, Sometimes less is more. There is my favorite game of all time, and maybe I'm using that a bit facetiously, is Yik. Y-I-I-K, as in Y2K. A postmodern RPG. And that game is the chef's kiss of less is more. Like, it is just so verbose, and I feel like the game would be improved by at least 200% if they cut out half of the lines of dialogue in that game. It is amazing, especially because, like, most of the lines of dialogue in that game are just the protagonist talking to himself, like narrating his thoughts. If you cut out half of that, it would be amazingly how much better the game would feel. But yes, as I thought, firewood isn't just lying around on the ground waiting to be picked up. Though she'd bought the hatchet, she'd foolishly hoped she wouldn't have to use it. Faced with so many different types of trees, most of them quite large, she was unsure how to proceed. They say brevity is the soul of wit? Yes, but it was Shakespeare who wrote that, and he put it in the mouth of Polonius, a character who is very long-winded and never brief. As a cis-white male with little ability to express my feelings, I prefer verbosity. Now that I think about it... Wait, hang on. So this is... Okay, I thought it was the narrator still speaking, but I guess it's Cassidy's inner thoughts. Now that I think about it, how much firewood do I usually use at once? Wait, so she was actually speaking out loud to us? Oh, right, we did cover this. She does talk to herself for some reason. Oh, the more I try to remember, the more addled I get. Interesting choice of addled. Not wrong, per se, but needlessly, formal. Perhaps I'll just subsist on fruits and fungus until the next crate arrives. Yes, they can't pick a lane. They can't decide whether they're going to be talking. Subsist is not like an old-timey word. It's a very formal word, but it's not one that they would have used back in, like, whatever they think this time period is. A timely stomach growl quickly put a stop to such plans. Cassidy let out a sigh.
For now then, I shall return to my favorite place. It always brings me peace. That place holds some magic, I've always felt. I'm sure I shall be able to think of something once I'm there.
Her spirit restored, Cassidy hefted her linen satchel a little higher. It was not long until she would be comfortable again, she thought.
Why, you're as radiant as ever.
There were many views to take pleasure in this forest, but this one in particular always brought her delight. Though she had lived here now for some seasons, the tree before her seemed never to change.
I don't know much about wisteria. Are they meant to stay in bloom year-round? Perhaps the winters here are mild. Wisteria shall wither, not when flakes of winter fall. Yet all must someday perish while heeding nature's call.
When you put it like that, it sounds like you're saying everyone must die when they're on the toilet. That's what it sounds like you're talking about. Everyone must die like Elvis. But nature wields not power over us all. Yes, like Elvis. Exactly right, Soupy Doorman. A clear wind chime voice caught Cassidy's attention. Cassidy's heart stuck in her throat as she followed the sound and caught sight of the woman sitting there. She had never seen a woman so breathtakingly beautiful.
My apologies for interrupting your poem, madame. It was only a couplet. You did not interrupt, so much as improve it. Oh, then all the better. It is not safe to be so deep in the wood. Harry not. I live here. It's quite safe, I assure you.
You died peacefully in your sleep? But your passengers were screaming when they died.
I dare say I have lived here much longer than you have. No harm has ever come to me in these woods. Perhaps our experiences merely differ. Certainly, I do concede your point.
Cassidy paused a long while, unsure how to carry on the conversation.
How strange. I used to make small talk with all the courtiers as if it were nothing. Has time truly affected me so? You say you live here? I do. I've never seen you. I'm quite sure of it. I would remember someone like you. Whereabouts do you live, if you do not mind my asking? Hardly a stone's throw from where we now stand. A stone's throw?
That is highly suspect. I guess let's not get too accusatory with our tone. Let's merely ask, how can that be? Ooh, acting like it was some big choice.
I suppose she does not wish to expose where she lives to an utter stranger. That is reasonable.
Wait, we thought just saying a stone's throw was her being evasive? What did we want her to do? Like, give us, like, explicit directions? Tell us, like, what street she lives on in this forest?
She seems to be quite on her guard. I envy your view of this lovely place.
Do not envy me.
What could that mean?
How droll. We don't need to question everything. You can leave some subtext.
Oh, where are my manners? My name is Cassidy. I too live nearby. You may call me Elowen. Elowen? What a lovely name.
For God's sakes. P. Sherman, 42 Wallaby Way. Finding Nemo.
Besides, I was already aware that you lived nearby. What? How? I've seen you before, albeit from a distance. You come here often. Oh dear, I must have been making a complete fool of myself. I'm sorry that you had to witness that.
Cassidy thought back to all the complaining she'd done under this tree. And all the time she'd sullied herself trying to gather fruit. What the hell was she doing? Sullying herself while looking for fruit. There were many other, truly mortifying memories. She stared at the ground in shame. When she looked up, however, Elowen was smiling. Cassidy felt her tension wane.
So what brings you back to this place? I wanted to calm myself. Calm yourself? What for? What could possibly cause you distress? What a sour tone. Does she think I just daydream and lace about all day?
That was meant for private me time in the forest.
Many things. I'll have you know that at this very minute, I am on a mission that might mean the difference between life and death. Oh, and yet you dally here? What could this mission involve, pray tell? I see my presence is not wanted here. I shall return to my search forthwith.
Just as she was about to turn away and leave Elowen and the wisteria tree behind, Cassidy heard Elowen laugh softly. It was a bewitching sound.
I see I have offended, milady. No offense was meant, I can assure. Really? Truly. I would never wish to cause you pain. Tell me of your mission. I have run out of firewood.
Upon hearing this, Elowen stood up and dusted herself off.
Allow me to be of service. Oh no, I couldn't possibly impose. Please, this tree suffers so much every time you shed your tears and frustration upon it.
Yet, despite her abrasive words, Elowen was tirelessly helpful. It was she who taught Cassidy to gather smaller bits of kindling and to use the hatchet when that proved insufficient.
If you wrap these smaller branches together, they shall burn just fine. I see. Oh, I am certainly glad not to have to chop down a whole tree. I was worried about that. Yes, once felled, a tree can never rise again. Take of them their fruit, their branches, but spare them their roots and lifeblood. Lifeblood? Do trees have blood? This forest is quite old, you know. I wish it would stay forever this way, but man has trouble leaving things be.
The disparity between Elowen's indifferent expression and the biting tone of her voice made Cassidy's heart ache. She must have had a bad experience? She must love trees. Why are they in quotation marks? Because we're not saying them out loud, I would hope not. Because it seems like a weird way to talk about her in the third person like that, right in front of her face. You think you've said this one? Your grandfather became a bank robber, possibly to rebel, as he came from a family of police marksmen. He's not with us anymore. He died, surrounded by his family. Is that a joke? In that the police marksmen were surrounding him when he was robbing a bank? Is that the joke? I guess she must have had a bad experience. Seems more insightful than she must love trees. That's the joke. Okay. I couldn't tell if you were telling me a genuine experience or whether it was a joke. I didn't want to openly laugh at your grandfather's death, Super Dollman. She must have had a bad experience.
We humans are meddlesome things, aren't we?
I get a feeling she might not be human. Something about the golden tiara thingy. What are they called? The olive wreaths that they wear around their heads? I'm sure it has a name. But I get the feeling she might be like the wisteria tree personified. Ooh, that would explain why her house is a stone's throw away, because her house is the wisteria, and why she's seen Cassidy so many times. It's both a joke and Sleepy Dormant's lived experience. He's in the humor stage of grief.
Perhaps I am making too light of her feelings. I thought that was rather an intelligent thing to say.
Yeah, I'm guessing she's the Wisteria. She's like some kind of dryad. Your other grandfather was a peeping Tom. He used to drill holes in the floor and spy on people. He's dead now, but I like to think he's still up there, looking down on us. Okay.
You truly love this forest.
Yes. In fact, I feel I am part of it, and it is part of me. Yep, she's definitely the Wisteria.
How beautiful.
The two continued through the forest, gathering wood and passing the time with easy conversation. As they walked leisurely, the sun began to sink. So too did the satchel of wood over Cassidy's shoulder sag.
It seems that you've gathered plenty of wood now. Surely that will be enough. Ah, you're right.
The time had quite gotten away from the exiled princess. Now that their afternoon together was coming to an end, Cassidy was afraid. Afraid and hopeful, which was perhaps more dangerous still.
Then, excuse me, Miss Elowin. Yes? Might we meet again? You've no idea how
Bleh.
You have no idea how happy I am to meet another person living in this wood. And a woman at that.
Yet the expression on Elowin's face showed that she had, in fact, some idea.
I was about to suggest the same. You might find me in this area most afternoons. I see. Then, until tomorrow. Would that we would meet so soon, my lady.
With that, Elowin bowed and left.
Her steps make almost no sound. What a graceful woman. Not just beautiful, but elegant and smart.
As she walked back to her cottage, so filled with the thoughts of Elowin was her head, that Cassidy forgot all about her fatigue and the weight of her burden. It's getting steamy in here? Yes.
She certainly is opinionated, but she must have so much more experience living independently than I. I hope I'm not a bother to her.
When's the incest getting here?
And with that, the once princess returned home, blissfully unaware of the roots that were at this very moment grabbing hold of her heels
and pulling her beneath. Sorry, I was using the wrong voice for the narrator there. It is said a fool repeats his days, changing naught but expecting change. I posit these men are by routine hog-tied. They expect naught and are by naught satisfied. Day 2. Once a princess, always a princess. That's what I say every day. There is a sort of melancholy one feels when closing a book for the final time. Feeling its last words wash over you as you leave its world and return to your own life. It was an ennui that Cassidy had grown used to. In her former life, she had received the best education that money and bribery might buy. Why do you need to bribe people for education? I am... confusion? I guess there was like that college admission scandal. I guess that's kind of like bribery for a good education. Now, that bright mind was left to languish, fed by nothing more than a single new book each fortnight. By now, Cassidy was in the habit of reading very slowly indeed. She shut her latest tome and placed it upon the table, next to her half-written letter to her brother. Oh boy, we've got a brother coming in. Maybe she wasn't in quite the right postcode area? Didn't you see that documentary, The Lottery? The Lottery. I'm not sure I'm familiar with The Lottery other than... Oh god, now her name escapes me. Shirley. It's about how effed up the US education system is. Oh, okay. Yeah, I only know... When you say, like, The Lottery and quotes like that, I just think of the short story by Shirley Jackson? I think it's Shirley Jackson. One of the classic all-time greatest short stories. I believe it was called The Lottery. Next to a half-written letter to her brother.
I never quite sound myself in these letters. How do you write from a distance to one whom you once saw daily? And how do you write anything at all when your life has grown so dull? Hey, Sungets, good to see ya. How's your week been? How's your Friday going? And, how's your weekend gonna go? Got anything planned? So dull. She decided to pen a few more sentences on how moved she felt after reading the book, and how profoundly distressed she was by the ending of it. Family is important, but so too is recognizing the value of what you have before it's too late. If only the king had realized what a wonderful daughter he had.
Wow, you're pretty full of yourself, eh? Just reading and writing plan for now. Have I been doing alright? Yeah, I've been doing great. I think it's been a very good week. I don't think anything major's happened, but it's been fun nonetheless. Hi, Gexelfay. You're, here to lurk to support? Yeah. Well, thank you. I haven't seen you stream lately, but, I was thinking about you just the other day. I'm glad to see you're still around. You haven't vanished off, Twitch entirely, and, I appreciate the lurk.
And I hope you realize how much you are loved by me, your one and only sister.
Oh boy. I'm getting worried about this, what was it? It was a half-finished letter to her brother, not a half-brother. He's a full brother, right? I'm worried about this brother. Considering that content warning we got at the beginning, I'm gonna be worried. She paused, overcome by sheer feeling, and decided to keep that final bit to herself. It was too desperate for comfort, and princesses did not whinge so. Incest, 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 and a horny forest nymph. Oh, brother.
No, that won't do at all. How unbecoming.
With a sigh, Cassidy stared at the cackling fire. She had more than enough firewood now to last her until the next shipment of it.
You fell ill a while ago. You still haven't fully recovered it. Might be taking a break after this weekend to focus on that. Okay. Oh, that's terrible. That really sucks, Dex. Yeah, I hope you get well soon. And yeah, lovely of you to come by and support us. And Sun gets to spank Miss Pine. And Oggy actually managed to hit Soupy Doorman. Oh, right, because you hugged. Right, sorry. Didn't pay attention to what was going on. Of course, you can aim the hugs, you can't aim the spanks. And that's the second time the horny police have gotten involved with Amber this evening. But yes, I'm not sure why Oggy gave a hug to Soupy, but fair enough. Next shipment of it? The sight reminded her of Elowin. I wonder what Elowin is doing at this very moment.
She could not fathom. The day-to-day life of such a mysterious personage was utterly beyond her imagination. Her curiosity was so engaged, it was now impossible to ignore. And so the fair Cassidy resolved herself to take a walk and casually seek the other woman out. It was in fact meant for Gexel Faye, the dangers of working and lurking. I thought that might have been the case. Thank you, Augie, for giving a hug to Gex. They certainly deserve it. And you fractured Gex's spine in several places. Very good. Hey, User N8, thank you for the raid. We raided User N8 on Wednesday at Time Goblin suggestion. Lovely to see you here. Hi, everyone. Hi, welcome in, Chasty and Velvet Delirium. Your spine is already screwed up. Doesn't matter. Hi, everyone. Hi. Lovely to see you. Oh, and thank you for giving Augie a hug back. You just gave them a nice slap on the back. That's nice. We just finished Rootin', quite a curious little horror game, and now we are playing Without a Voice, a game with some quite dire content warnings at the beginning. So stay on the alert for that. And we will pull the plug if it gets too much. So don't be too concerned about it. But you didn't get to check us out, so here you are. Ah, well. Thank you for trusting me with bringing your community over here. Today's Friday, so we're playing spooky games. And I put this in my spooky games list, and I think it was because of the content warnings. I didn't want to play this on Storytime Sundays, where we normally go for more humorous, kind of cringeworthy stuff than something that has content warnings on it. Apparently this deals with some somewhat dark themes, although so far it has just been a delightful story of an exiled princess meeting a beautiful woman in the woods. So I don't know where it's going to go from here.
Perhaps I'll even stumble across where she lives today. Wouldn't it be exciting to surprise her at home?
Thinking nothing at all of how inconvenient, how overly forward and impertinent it might be, she departed immediately. Once outside, Cassidy took in a deep lungful of crisp forest air.
How lovely it is today. Hardly a cloud in the sky.
She took measured steps into the forest, constantly scanning the area around her, on the lookout for this elusive domicile. There was no implied incest yet. There may be implied incest in the future. There definitely was some sapphic feelings going on with what we assume may be a dryad of a wisteria tree. Skirting death. I don't remember there being any skirting of death. Yeah, sure. Share a clip. I'm pretty sure clips are allowed. I think pretty much any link's allowed, but yeah, let's hang on. Can't bring it up, but hang on. Actually, maybe I can. I click there. Yeah, okay. Let's do this. We can do this. We can figure this out.
Okay, at least
we can manage. We are a pro streamer. Let's go over to screen. There's my screen. That's the game. Where did I put the other? There we go. Hopefully you can see this all.
Okay, at least the jump isn't too bad, not like with the secret, right? Okay, at least the jump isn't too bad, not like with the secret, right?
That is a great noise. I love it. I'm glad you shared that clip. So that's User and Egg. Go check them out if you like that clip. They are. How do I get back to what I'm doing? Let's go back to the game. Bring up the game. And hello, Mima Sweets. A little late on the raid alert message, but I appreciate it nonetheless. Lovely to see you here. And let's give... That clip was your experience today. Ah, okay. Let's give User a shout out. Yeah, go give them a follow if you like that clip. Anyway, back to the game. She took measured steps into the forest, constantly scanning. Thank you. Oh, and we reached our follow goal. A Mima is never too late or too soon. I always arrive exactly when I'm always late. Very good. Thank you, Mima Sweets, for the follow. You have now helped us reach our goal of 110 follows. For some reason, that number just keeps going up, no matter what I try. Now where were we? She took measured steps into the forest, constantly scanning the area around her, on the lookout for this elusive domicile. What am I doing for my goal? I wasn't planning on reaching the goal, so I didn't have anything planned. Do you have any suggestions, Magoo? You are our resident, you can unfollow if I prefer. No, I mean, I would prefer if you stayed followed, but it is up to you if you really want to unfollow. I didn't have anything planned for reaching the goal. I mean, 110 isn't really like a big celebration. It's a kind of a random number to pick. What can you say? You're a people pleaser? Okay, we were on the lookout for an elusive domicile.
Might Elowen live in a cottage like mine? She's so elegant. I cannot imagine her doing housework.
As the 110th follower, I think it's a great number. Augie, if you live to 110, you know you'll be throwing a rager? If you live to 110, I'll be very impressed, Augie. Oh, no, it's okay. Well, actually, is it okay? Yeah, no, some of the game appears over on, like, some of the dialogue appears. I don't want to cover up the screen. Normally, I have it off because we're playing horror games. This hasn't proven to be a horror game just yet. But, when we're playing horror games on Fridays, I like to turn my PNG tuber off. Actually, I'll show it. This is what I look like normally on my just chatting screen. But yes, I like to turn it off for when we're playing horror games, so it's more immersive. We can get more into the game. So there isn't my smug face looking back at you while we're doing something spooky. Anyway, back to the game. Cannot imagine her doing housework.
Then again, I could hardly imagine myself doing housework not so long ago. Oh, how times change a person.
As far as you know, this is what I look like IRL. Well, I did base it off myself. It is kind of supposed to look somewhat like me. As much as I could get the V-Roid? Yeah, the V-Roid to look like me without going too deep into the custom options. You just like the movements a lot? Yeah, I think it's quite good. I like the way that it kind of looks at the screen and then looks directly when it's talking. I'm quite proud of it. You know, even though it wasn't a ton of work that I put into it, I'm quite happy with how it turned out.
Oh, how times change a person.
Here we go. There's the wisteria tree. Cassidy reached her beloved wisteria tree before long and eagerly drank in the sight of it. She ran up to the tree and encircled it with her arms, as if meaning to embrace it. Okay, that's a bit much.
Hello, dear tree. You are looking as lovely as ever today, though a certain someone sits not beneath your boughs this afternoon.
She leaned to one side. I'm sorry, but that leaning animation was hilarious. She leaned to one side and then another, looking around the tree and into the forest to see as if she might spy a window or the billowing of a chimney smoke. Sadly, she could only make out more trees.
I can't suppose that Elowen lives in a treehouse, does she?
I'm not so sure I want to go to the surface. What if the world finds out what we were doing down here?
Okay, thanks for the lurk, user NA. Of course, never be afraid to raid and run. And yeah, I appreciate the lurk. And yeah, we will certainly have fun, and I appreciate you bringing your community here and trusting me with them. Hopefully, I can be as entertaining as you are. And, you know, you'll have to come to the surface one day and face what you're ashamed of. But I guess it won't be today.
Certainly not.
Whoa, why did she pop up from the ground like that? Was she, like, crouching somewhere?
Oh!
Startled, Cassidy jumped, her foot catching unhappily on one of the tree's roots, sending her flailing forward. Catching unhappily? How does a foot catch something unhappily?
Careful.
Elowen's arm shot out at once, her vice-like grip snaring the once princess just in time. Elowen's touch was so cold, yet her movements decisive. Cassidy's heart raced. It was crouching the entire time, just to jump up like some kind of muppet. Like a coffee table leg? Oh, like, to catch it unhappily, yes.
Was she truly worried for me?
Okay, calm down. She just stopped you from falling over. That doesn't mean she cares that much about you. It took Cassidy several moments to regain her composure. Elowen, too, looked a bit shaken.
Thank goodness you arrived when you did.
What do you mean? Her arrival is what startled us into tripping over. She caused us to trip over. Okay.
Though, truth be told, if you hadn't startled me so, I would not have fallen.
Exactly. Like, it's not like she arrived just in the nick of time and we just happened to be falling.
Is that so? I shall endeavor to be less frightening in future, then. Oh dear, she may have mistaken my meaning. I was only trying to cover up my embarrassment.
Perhaps Elowen was joking, or that is not necessary. Let's go with that is not necessary. Woo, big choice.
I don't understand what you mean. I certainly don't think you're frightening. Oh? Your earlier words seem to suggest otherwise. I was merely... Oh, never mind. How confusing you are. Still, how curious it is for us to be meeting here again.
What do you mean, how curious? She said yesterday that we can find her here in the afternoons. We came here, and she was here. It's not exactly curious. She even said she lives near here, so, like... Not a surprise.
You come here often. I live nearby. What is curious about it?
Exactly, Elowen. Elowen gets me.
I'm merely saying that it's serendipitous. It must be fate.
You know a goal, Magoo? Oh dear. Tell us, oh great award master. What is your goal that you have for me? Or our, yeah, whatever. Ow. Ow. I just got soda in my eye. I'm blind. No, I'm fine. Ooh, the Colonel Sanders game. Okay. I did see, Electro Humanid, who was here.
I'm only mandated to have a 2-minute flower break while working. Now move out of the way so I can look at those flowers.
Thank you, Augie. The Colonel Sanders game. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we can put that on the slate. When shall we play it? Well, we reached 110 followers on our Friday stream, so maybe next Friday, we will do the Colonel Sanders game. Yeah, okay. There we go. Thank you, Magoop, for that idea. But, yeah, Electro Humanid, who was here earlier, who I, Oh, you were trying to give cover for getting soda in my eyes. No, I've recovered now. But thank you, Augie, for playing that clip. It was very subtle. Very good covering up.
I'm merely saying that it's serendipitous. It must be fate.
It's not fate. She told us she would be here, so we came here. How old are you, Cassidy? You've got some problems with, understanding, like, coincidence and probability. You'll be at work, but that's okay? Aw, that's a shame, Magoo. Man, I can move it around. I don't know. We'll tentatively schedule it for next Friday. We might play it earlier on in the week if we finish Figment, next week on Wednesday. Or, yeah, it depends on how quickly we get through Without a Voice today. But yeah, we'll schedule it in for the next time we've got a free game at the very least. Free, spot. So hopefully you'll be around, depending on when that turns out to be. But if not, there's always the VOD. There's always the archives on my YouTube channel. You can enjoy it then. But yes, thank you for that suggestion.
Fate has nothing to do with it, I assure you. Oh, but it's so much more romantic to think of it as fate.
I can think of nothing less romantic than fate. Question mark? Perhaps it is something not yet possible for you to understand.
Don't speak as though you're much older and wiser than me.
Elowen laughed a little.
How old are you, anyway? How old do you think?
Cassidy stared at Elowen, gazing deeply into her eyes as if she might find the other woman's secrets there.
Older than I first thought, perhaps.
A wise answer. Elowen tipped her head slightly, the motion seeming to indicate a desire to walk on. Cassidy was only too happy to comply. Together, the two women strolled. Their time together was marked by companionable silence. Cassidy, never before a quiet girl, was desperate to fill it, but what conversation might pique Elowen's interest was unclear. She peered shyly at Elowen's face in profile, so striking and noble did it seem.
She has the air of an aristocrat. What could someone like she be doing living in a forest? Then again, am I not in the same position? Perhaps it's something she finds difficult to speak of.
An icy gust of wind whistled through the clearing, causing Cassidy to shiver and rub her bare arms. She has bare arms? The sun will be setting. Oh, that's my narrator voice.
The sun will be setting soon, and it will grow colder. Perhaps you should...
It was then that the question Cassidy had been ruminating on all afternoon burst forth. There's no bear command.
Would you like to come to my cottage?
Elowen appeared quite overcome.
Is that wise? Whatever do you mean? How can you extend such an invitation to one such as me, whom you hardly know?
You are entirely too trusting.
I'm surprised at you. Two solitary women ought to stick together out in these wilds. Besides, who else have I to invite? I sometimes feel quite lonely out here, don't you?
Elowen turned her head slightly and gazed into the forest behind them, as if peering at something only she could see.
Loneliness, then. I see. Very well. I'll take you up on your offer.
Though puzzled by Elowen's hesitation, Cassidy was overjoyed that her invitation had been accepted. There was a spring in her step as she led the other woman to her home. It was only in front of the cottage that Cassidy suddenly understood what an impetuous thing it was she was doing.
Is the house clean enough?
She could not seem to recall when she had last swept or aired out her bedding.
Is this where you live? Yes. It's charming. Thank you. I wish I could take more credit for that. The house was here long before I arrived. Even the furniture is not truly my own. Still, it suits you. Thank you.
Bolstered by Elowen's reaction, Cassidy finally gained the courage to follow through. She opened the door wide, gesturing for the other woman to enter. As Elowen did so, with her usual slow, measured steps, Cassidy could not help but notice the other woman's feet, clearly visible in the slippers she wore. Oh boy. Why the hell would you need to bring up the feet? Oh god, we even got a close-up of the feet. Yeah.
Her toes are curled. How odd. They stayed that way, even as...
They stayed that way, even as Elowen entered the house.
Perhaps her manner of walking is not purely for the sake of elegance, but also necessity.
Yes, Augie footpecks. Had Elowen some sort of pain in her feet? Cassidy pondered on this and resolved to ask about it when the opportunity arose.
Hey, Elowen, can you show me your feet? I would like to closely examine your feet, Elowen. It is quite spacious. You live here alone? That's right. It's not so bad. I don't have anyone to tell me what to do, or where to go. I have a freedom now that I've never known before. Perhaps, but sometimes I believe that being tied down to something is easier. If you don't realize you're being strangled, it's just a pleasant, light-headed feeling. I don't really understand. It's all right if you don't.
Elowin walked slowly from one part of the room to the next, her fingertips ghosting over every surface. She looked to be seeking the essence of each object, taking in every minute flaw and deciphering its true nature. Cassidy wondered what Elowin might discover about her, if only she allowed it, if only she dared. Wait, is she asking Elowin to rub her fingers all over Cassidy? It was unbearably quiet. Just then, Elowin came across the book Cassidy had finished reading.
Oh, that's a book my brother sent to me. I get so frightfully bored here that these books have become my sanctuary. I'm expecting a new shipment soon.
Your brother? Elowin was silent for a time, digesting that new information. And then her eyes fell on the half-finished letter haphazardly placed next to the book. Cassidy followed her gaze. Eyes wide, she leapt forward to snatch the letter away. How much had the other woman seen? She colored in mortification. She colored in mortification. That's a very weird way to say she blushed. Or maybe mortified, she blushed.
Your brother is far away from here. Yes. Is it beautiful, the place where you once both lived? I have not once seen its equal. More beautiful than this cottage prison of yours?
Cassidy could not hide her surprise at Elowin's poisonous choice of words, nor could she hide her sudden tears. Excuse me seems a little hostile. Let's go with, it's not like that. Whoosh. She dried her eyes delicately, but with determination. Now is not the time for tears.
Things are complicated. It is not as clear-cut as you seem to believe. Undoubtedly, the affairs of men oft are.
I have clips turned off? Do I have clips turned off? I don't intend to have clips turned off. How did I do that? That doesn't seem right. How do I fix that? Are you sure that that's the case? I love having clips, so I don't know why that would be turned off. Hang on. Let me check my Twitch manager. What do I want? Create a dashboard? Could be a me problem? I don't know. If anyone else could shout out whether they appear to be capable of, Okay, there's the clip button. Well, does the clip button appear for you? Yeah, sure, make a clip, Magoop, and, yeah, I'll just delete it later. Oh, Big CD made a clip, test clip. In clip, but you can't publish. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure if I turn the clipping ability off, it just wouldn't appear, like the button. Sometimes if there's licensed music playing, it won't let you hit publish. Oh, is this licensed music, maybe? I've never encountered that. Oh, that could be a problem. That would be a very annoying problem. Maybe we will play, the Colonel Sanders game next Friday if this does turn out to be licensed music, because, I won't be bothering to play it again. But if not, I can always go back and get the foot clip later in the VOD. Yeah, work for me? You think you made 2 clips? Okay, well if the others are capable of making clips, unless it was specifically the song that was playing during the foot scene, I guess it's probably just Twitch being broken again for you, Augie. Which is a shame because, you know, I love clips, and also I do know how much of a bane the Twitch clipping function can be. I do wish it was more precise. It's either you or something with the music, yeah. sometimes when you trim, yeah, loading in can be a problem. And I often have to like refresh, and sometimes that makes multiple clips, and I have to go back and delete them before it works properly. But it sounds like Augie's saying that like he made the clip, but then it won't let him hit publish, like the final thing, which I've never encountered a problem with that before. I don't think. But apparently Baked CD says that it will sometimes not allow you to publish if you've got like, licensed music in the clip, so that might be it. It might be the case. Undoubtedly, the affairs of men oft are. However, all I need to know is that he is there and you are here. How this goes? Okay. Well, you've got a clip now, so whatever is done. You tried to make it a full 60 seconds? Oh no, you should be able to make a full minute clip. That should work. You think that's happened to me once, but it was just like a glitch? Okay. I mean, I've definitely made full 60-second clips before. Really? You need to go slightly shorter than the largest it'll let you. I'm certain I've done, like, maximum size clips. Like a single tick, like a point in. Okay. Maybe that's something to bear in mind in the future. It's certainly something I'll keep in mind. However, all I need to know is that he is there and you are here. That he is responsible for that difference can be inferred quite easily. You are a fast reader to be able to jump to such conclusions so swiftly.
I am not unhappy here, Elowen.
I know that it likes to take off like the final like half couple of ticks when it's making the actual clip. When it actually publishes it, it likes to take out like maybe like half a second or maybe a quarter of a second of the clip, which can be so annoying. If you wanted to end on the perfect punchline, you have to give it some extra space after the punchline, or else it'll cut off the actual ending of the clip. I like to be precise in my edits, but Twitch doesn't allow me to.
I am not unhappy here, Elowen. Can you say that truly? With an unclouded heart?
Elowen peered into Cassidy's eyes, and their gazes held, like two magnets, pulling each other in closer and closer still. Yet Cassidy could not do it. She could not look Elowen in the eye and tell in untruth. Elowen looked to the window.
It has gotten dark. Oh my, how rude of me. I have not offered you tea or any refreshment. Do not trouble yourself on my account. I must away. I did not mean to impose for so long. You are hardly an imposition. You are kind and good.
Cassidy's face lit up.
You are kind. Kind and good things do not survive long in a world such as ours.
And just as quickly as it had come, a sudden rush of delight left her. Bowing her head, the other woman was out the door and gone, leaving hurt and confusion in her wake. Yeah, I did wonder if it was going to go there. If only on the second day of meeting her, Cassidy was going to be like, hey, you can totally sleep here. I mean, you know, we're friends. We can even share the same bed, you know. You can take your shoes off if you want. When she looked out the window to glimpse the same view that Elowen had just beheld, what Cassidy saw before her was but a bleak uncertainty. No, I'm pretty sure it was like whatever was outside the window, not a bleak uncertainty. Without wisdom or experience, storms shall ill-weathered be. But when you are nearby, dear one, no storms can bother me. Day 3. The exiled princess paused on the very first line of her letter.
To my dear Alexander. Is that too familiar? Will he dislike it?
The brother of her memory was a kind boy, but rather stiff, and particularly mindful of decorum. Following the events of the previous evening, Cassidy felt compelled to rewrite her half-finished letter. I want Alexander to see me at my best. No, don't like that. Let's stay away from trying to impress our brother. Let's try and do as much as we can to not send any confusing signals.
Not that Alexander would care.
Whoosh.
Not that Alexander will care either way. I'm sure he's too busy to even read my letters through. Still, I wanted him to know how I spend my days. I feel less alone when I read his letters, and if mine can ease his spirits, then it's a worthwhile endeavor.
Somehow, even after rewriting the letter, Cassidy was not confident about its contents.
To my dear Alexander, I hope that this letter finds you well, dear brother. My days remained unchanged. Every morning, I wake up and make myself breakfast and a cup of tea. I greatly enjoyed the tea leaves you sent last. After breakfast, I read or practice my embroidery. You will perhaps not be surprised to know that my skill with the needle has not much improved. Is this interesting enough?
She had not talked much of Elowin, not wanting to confuse her brother with tale of a woman she had met here. With tale of a woman he had never met. In fact, upon a quick reread, she realized she had not mentioned Elowin in her letters at all.
It's better this way, I think.
When Cassidy looked out the window, she realized the sun had started to set.
Oh dear, was I revising for so long? Silly me.
She folded up her letter and placed it in an envelope, sealing it with the royal wax seal she was given. She stood and stretched her arms above her head.
I've hardly moved all day. That is no good.
That's no good. Cassidy walked to the front of the cottage, where she normally left her letters halfway beneath the door for an agent to collect. She had just stuffed her letter under the door when...
Princess?
Cassidy's blood ran cold for a moment. Yet, she soon realized who was addressing her and relaxed.
You surprise me, Elowin.
She spoke to the other woman through the half-opened window at the front of the cottage.
I'm no princess, you know. Is that so? You seem like one to me.
Cassidy was not sure how to respond to that sentiment.
Have I casually let slip that I was a princess? I did not realize that I still behaved in the manner of one. Lifelong habits cannot so soon be discarded, it seems. There is an envelope under the door. Oh yes, do leave it there. It's outgoing. Outgoing?
Elowin paused for a long while, but said no more on the subject.
May I come in? Of course. I'm so sorry. I should have invited you sooner. I was so taken aback, you see. I did not mean to surprise you. It's all right. A happy surprise. I'm so glad to see you.
She opened the door and ushered Elowin inside. Oh, no foot this time? We're not going to stare at her feet while she stands there? This time, Cassidy did not forget her manners. Yes, you can take off your shoes if you want. She quickly flew into the kitchen to make her guest some tea and pulled out the crackers she'd set aside for just an occasion. Crackers in what seems like a kind of medieval age seems weird. I didn't know they made crackers back then. Elowin politely sipped the tea, but did not touch the crackers.
I suppose she has already eaten, or I wonder why she doesn't eat.
I think it's more likely to just suppose she's already eaten. I mean, it's already the end of the day. There's no need to wonder about why someone doesn't want to eat. Like, just let them be. Whoosh. It acts like every choice you make is so, like, profound, or like it's gonna change everything.
There's a healthy glow to Elowin's face. I suppose she's already eaten. She strikes me as a type who would worry about her figure.
It's just like the Best Picture nominee, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Timeless, yes. Or, as that one TikTok called it, what was it? Absolutely Everything All of the Time.
And it's so late in the day already. Yes, I'm sure she's already supped and can eat no more.
Cassidy endeavored not to take offense, and instead greedily partook of the crackers herself. The two women talked pleasantries for some time. It became rather apparent that Eloine's attention lay elsewhere.
Sungats, you cannot spank me. It is impossible. Do not even try. You just end up spanking yourself, and you've made everyone uncomfortable. And pigeons are not the bosses of our lives. Thank you, Bart. Thank you for coming in with that. Is everything quite all right? Why do you ask? You seem somewhat reserved. That is more than usual. That letter. You said it was outgoing. Is that the letter you wrote your brother? Oh yes, if I leave the letters there, someone will come collect it. Someone? How can that be? You do not have to go into town to have your mail delivered?
She was at a loss as how to explain. Cassidy herself knew that her situation was extraordinary.
You see, I live alone. You see, though I live alone, I am well taken care of. My brother provides everything. Every fortnight or so, his agents deliver food and supplies to me. Someone is around to collect my outgoing letters once or twice a day.
Wow, wow, that's, I thought it was gonna be like just once a week someone comes around.
I only ever send my brother letters, of course. I was not wrong when I said this place was like a jail. Why do you live here alone when he clearly has enough resources to take care of you?
Cassidy shifted uncomfortably in her seat. Eloine's eyes seemed not to look at her so much as bore into her soul. Cassidy felt judged and deemed unworthy, though she had not yet responded to Eloine's inquiry. No matter how she phrased it in her head, it sounded awful.
I am here for my own safety.
She took a deep breath.
When you called me princess earlier, you were not far off the mark. I was once a princess, though I am no longer. After my father, the king's death, I was to inherit the throne, but our barons in Parliament voted no confidence.
I have an affection for killing people intimately.
Thank you, Magoop, for reminding us that our very own Princess Rosca has an affection for killing people intimately. Go check her out if you want. She is an absolutely lovely VTuber who plays a lot of Jump King. She is a puppy VTuber, for what it's worth, and yes, she is just a delight and is hilarious all of the time.
Worse, I was then handed trumped-up charges of treason. I very well could have been executed. Instead, my younger brother intervened on my behalf. So you are alive, in exile, but alive.
The former princess surprised herself at the depth of her own feeling, at the desperation with which she tried to convince, especially herself, that this was for the best.
How can you be so positive? What? You speak so fondly of your brother, when he is the one who exiled you, who left you here to rot in isolation. It's not like that, Eloine. What part of what I said is false? Tell me. It's not that simple. It's not Alexander's fault.
She found herself repeating her thoughts on the matter mechanically, things she only half believed. She had said all these things before. It seemed she no longer believed them now.
As a result of your dear Alexander's intervention, you were exiled, were you not? Who's to say he was not responsible for the unfavorable vote in the first place?
Well, I guess, but we don't know that. And I guess Alexander would benefit from us not being on the throne. He would be the one to inherit the throne. But still, the charges of treason, we would have been killed. It's some small mercy that we were merely exiled.
Why would he do that? What would he have to gain? I know it seems unfair, but I've come to terms with it. Matters of court are never black and white. I am lucky to have left the castle with my life. I previously stated my belief that you were kind and good. I have now revised my opinion. You are a blind fool. As I am mute, you are blind. Altogether too blind to the selfish ways of the world. What is your meaning? It is nothing. I believe in your brother all you wish, but you cannot deny that there is truth to what I've said.
Elowyn rose from her seat in one swift movement, then headed for the door.
Good night, Princess. I am Princess no longer. Mock me not, I beg of you.
Just like that, she was gone, disappeared into the dark. Cassidy wrapped her arms around her torso, hugging herself for comfort in the wake of Elowyn's sudden, indignant anger. Feeling comfort none, the former princess squeezed her eyes shut.
Oh, Elowyn, why?
There is a treasure that can't be bought, no matter how long it may be sought. It is something priceless yet free. I speak, of course, of an apology. Day 4.
And we will save it there, as we call this a stream.